That's the same thing. I mean, the man told, he tweeted out 9 minutes ago he was going live, so what the fuck, bro? That's the first bit. It's not my words, not my rules. I just enforce them. $15 minutes now. What the fuck, bro? You taking a shit?
Jesus is the way and the life and the King of Israel. We just lead with love.
We're really at a crossroads here. Look around. It's trends. It's 18-year-olds joining OnlyFans. It's the film on TikTok. It's this country not having a border. It's the idea that our kids and we, this generation, are never going to own anything. Think about it. Never making an income to support a family. Never being able to have a family. People being corrupted before they're even a teenager by things on their phone. Sick addiction to technology. The future is so bleak. But that has changed the calculation.
God is using it to breaking me down. Remove all of the richest person, all of this, so I can serve Him. I think they've been extremely unfair to you. Who is they, though? We can't say they is us.
There is no future if we do nothing now. There is nothing to lose. People that are scrambling, trying to protect their ever-shrinking share of what they have are foolish. It's all going away. This country is being ripped apart and raped and looted. We're being slowly poisoned and in some cases quickly murdered and assassinated. And we're killing ourselves every day. Inadvertently. The with the kinds of things that we eat and breathe and drink and see, people have got to start to radically begin to obey their conscience and tell the truth and do the right thing. People have got to start to get courageous. And this is the time for everybody to turn and look to God and to pray and to ask for strength and to ask for wisdom to get through this time and to transform and sanctify this country.
How can I help? So you don't want to
And the alternative is that there will be no country.
leave it with me.
Is it really only as big as low gas prices? Is it really only so big as bringing inflation and gas prices and the corporate tax rate back down? It's not about waiting for someone to come in and change the policy and make it better. It's a personal decision that we all have to make to become soldiers of Christ.
I'm out on GTA 6 now, bro. What are you waiting for, bro? Motherfucker. Let that sink in. Go ahead, let that sink in. Let that sink in. Fucker. Motherfucker.
When I get home, I want you. Hello, I got places to be.
Good evening, everybody. You're watching America First. We have a great show for you.
Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo.
No one's allowed to say that the part of this, that the blood of our people is something that is essential. That we are different. That America was different because we are different. Palantir is an AI data analytics company. They use artificial intelligence to look at vast amounts of data and create insights. If the government has an amount of data which is kind of unimaginable, if you've got every phone call, every email, every transaction, every photograph of a license plate on the highway, satellite data, it's too much data for a bureaucracy to sift through. Palantir comes in and interprets the data using algorithms, using artificial intelligence, using software to make vast amounts of data usable. That's what they are. And so many of the people that worked with Elon that came into the government through Doge worked with Palantir. Now that Doge is finished, Palantir seems to be just getting started.
Nigga, you dripping.
Thank you so much, everybody.
No.
Stay.
Hello, I got places to be.
Good evening, everybody. You're watching American Dave White. We have a great show for you tonight. Good evening, everybody. You're watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Wednesday. We have a lot to talk about tonight, lots to get into. Big show. The Jews. Americanism. Americanism will be our Twitter. It's going to be ugly. America first. America first. The American people will come first once again. Good evening, everybody. You're watching America First. My name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. We have a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Wednesday. We have a lot to talk about tonight, lots to get into. Big show. Our featured story, we're talking all about Renee Good.
The 37-year-old activist who was shot and killed by ICE last week, tragically. And we'll talk about the circumstances of the shooting. We'll talk about the aftermath, the whole situation. And I know this news is a little bit late here. It happened, I think, over a week ago at this point. I don't know the exact day. It's been a minute, but I didn't get a chance to cover it. I have to tell you, it is really striking that there was apparently a divide about this on the far right. And it seems that the more race-conscious, immigration restrictionist far-right people knew that this is not a tragedy, this is probably a good thing. And then it seems that the Israel-critical, Jewish-critical elements on the far right, for whatever reason, said this is a horrible tragedy. And they're coming out against ICE. And I saw some ridiculous cope about this. I saw some people say that ICE is trained by the Israeli Defense Forces. So this is Trump sicking the IDF on white people, on white women. Wow, that's a stretch. That's a new one. And I'm really shocked by that, but it's a little bit alarming. It shows, I think, and I've been saying it all week, and I said it on Telegram around New Year's, it shows the extent to which this side of the far right has been captured by the far left. And we'll talk all about that tonight. Nobody on our side should be mourning this person. Once you know who she is and what she's about and everything, and yes, actually all of that matters. I see a lot of people hand-waving that away and saying, it doesn't matter what side she's on, she's a human being. Don't get me wrong. I wish we lived in a world where nobody was dying and nobody had to die and we weren't engaged in this conflict. But the fact of the matter is, as we all know, we are. We do live in a world where we are engaged in a political struggle. We are engaged in a war, actually. And the stakes could not be higher. This is about our civilization. This is about our ancestors, about our posterity. Their future is at stake, whether white people exist as a race and everything that that entails, Christendom, Western civilization, all of it, it's all at stake. And of course, we have people in the country that are fighting to prevent this from happening, fighting to prevent us from preserving these things all the time. And so it absolutely matters what side of this issue you're on. We're being invaded. The people come here. They take advantage. They loot and pillage. They get caught red-handed, in this case in Minneapolis, this Somalian enclave. They get caught with their hand in the cookie jar, stealing perhaps billions of dollars of federal assistance and other money. And some people, it's their first instinct to jump in and defend those people, literally at the peril of their own life. I say, if that's a game you want to play, good riddance. So we'll talk about that tonight. We'll get into all of it. Before we do, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment, let me know what you think about the show. Check out our merch store, Fuentes.store, 10% off because it's our first week back in 2026. Fuentes.store, get your hats, shirts. We have all kinds of new stuff. Check it out. Subscribe at AmericaFirst.plus. $15 a month gets you every piece of content I've ever made over the past 10 years. Every interview, debate, speech, show, gaming stream, it's all there. And you get an MP3 format as well if you like podcasts. Your low data. I don't know why people would prefer that, but some people do. $100 a month, you get into the group chat with me. Okay. With that out of the way, one other thing I do just want to briefly add. So, of course, over the last 48 hours, we have been watching very closely what is happening in the Islamic Republic of Iran. And last night, I covered this extensively. So if you want my full take on it, check out last night's show. The whole show, I talked about the present crisis in Iran, the protests, the prospect of U.S. intervention or U.S.-backed regime change. We went into all the details and analyzed it. And today, I was watching this all day. It looked very likely that we were going to, and by we I mean the United States, was going to intervene militarily in Iran. And I follow some of these newswire channels on Telegram and on Twitter, and maybe some of you do too, and if you are, all day they're talking about Iran has closed its airspace. The European and Arab countries are stopping all flights into Iran, into Israel. The United States actually made some moves to evacuate the Al Udeid military base in Qatar, anticipating a retaliatory attack from Iran. There were some rumors about U.S. and Israeli fighter jets over Iraq, over Syria. All this talk about an imminent U.S. strike, and it didn't happen. It did not happen yet at the time of recording this. It's almost 10 o'clock Central Time. And I don't think it will happen anytime soon. Last night we went into it in great detail, and I told you, given the force package in the region right now, it seems unlikely that anything military or kinetic is going to happen this week. And I told you last night, the reason I believe that is because, let's say the United States launches a missile strike, an airstrike on Iran. Immediately, Iran is going to retaliate with a missile strike of their own. And they're going to go after everybody. Israel, they're going to attack U.S. military bases in Iraq, Syria, Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Qatar. Everything is fair game after that. We only have 6 ships in the Middle East right now. We have 12 in the Caribbean. And so I said last night, we just don't have enough assets in the region to carry this out. I said, so expect that it's either going to come next week or the United States is going to go in with some economic measures like these tariffs that were announced on Monday, or a cyber attack or some other form of intervention, and that will sow the seeds of chaos. It will degrade Iran's ability to suppress protests, and that will lead into some sort of future provocation, future intervention in a matter of weeks, months. But I think the timeline, and I feel confident saying this, I think the timeline is going to be sometime before April that we are going back into Iran. And the reason I say that is because the midterms are coming up. Netanyahu knows that. Trump knows that. They don't want a messy war right before the election. So I think they're going to try to do it early in the year, first quarter of the year for sure. I still think we're on high alert. I think it's absolutely coming. And it's funny, I saw today Jimmy Dore and some other people too, they put out a tweet saying that if Charlie Kirk were alive today, he would be opposing the strikes. So people are calling this some great big coincidence. I saw some people saying this. They said during the last U.S.-Iran war in June of 2025, they said Charlie Kirk was against regime change. And if he were alive now, he would be against regime change too. And this is a lie. This is an absolute lie. This is wish casting. This is ideology-induced delusion. You want to know why? Because we have the record from last year. And a lot of people are pointing to a handful of tweets that Charlie Kirk made in the build-up to the war in June of 2025, but not the tweets that he posted after the war. Because shortly after the U.S. bombed Iran and then Trump forced a ceasefire, Charlie Kirk got on Twitter to defend the strike and to defend Trump's insinuation that we might force a regime change, and defended the position. Charlie Kirk went on Twitter and said, there's a huge difference between a top-down regime change and a bottom-up revolution. He said, I support a bottom-up revolution. And then a month later, when the Epstein files were buried by the DOJ, Charlie Kirk came out and said, I'm done asking questions. I trust Trump to get to the bottom of it. And people say, well, if he were alive now, he would be a vocal opponent of the war. Let me tell you why that is not true. Charlie Kirk, obviously, God rest his soul, but he is a subject of intense debate. That's not my fault. Other people keep dragging him into it. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost, and above all else, a Republican surrogate for the GOP and for Donald Trump. And if you know anything about Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk, what they are very good at and what they have always done is defend the GOP. Get people to vote for the GOP. Defend President Trump. Get people to vote for President Trump. That is what they do. And so there are no other consistencies. Not on issues like abortion, not on issues like immigration, not on issues like foreign policy. They just go with whatever Trump is saying. So if Charlie Kirk were to oppose regime change in Iran, he would be publicly going against the president. Really, and that's the person that he serves. And that's not going to happen. That didn't happen last year. It didn't happen with Epstein. And it wasn't about to happen with this. That is delusional. And people are just straight up lying about it. People are posting tweets that are just days older from last year than the tweet where he said, I would support a bottom-up revolution. Okay, well, it's actually a distinction without a difference. Don't you understand that? These protests in Iran, and this is just one last thing and then we'll move on with the show. These protests in Iran, to the extent that they are more volatile and more violent than the protests in 2022 or 2019, why do you think that is? The reason these protests are violent is because the demonstrators have guns. And where are the demonstrations happening? They're happening in western Iran, in Kurdish majority provinces. So here's a question for you. In the midst of this popular uprising of the people, who's giving these people guns? Who's arming the Kurds? Oh, that sounds very familiar. Well, who is arming the Kurds in Syria? Who always has armed the Kurds against whichever dictator they want to topple? Oh, yeah, Israel and the CIA. So all these people are talking about these deadly clashes. Of course it's being embellished. It's atrocity propaganda, like everything. But to the extent that these clashes are more violent, it's because the demonstrators are armed, and that sort of suggests that they have been armed. Arms have been provided to them by a Western intelligence agency, by a Western military, by Israel and the United States for this purpose, to topple the government. And this is, it's called the color revolution. It's called the Arab Spring. This is what they do every time. The CIA goes in, they give everybody guns, they plant the seeds of dissent, they coordinate it, they organize it. Starlink is overhead, giving everybody internet access, and they go and attack the government, take over government buildings. Western media embellishes and amplifies it, and the headline on every major paper in the United States, the Post, the Journal, the Times, it all says, deadliest clashes ever in Iran. Popular uprising, pro-democracy, liberal reforms, anti-regime. And that's when the government, which again planted those seeds to begin with, says, well, we are intervening. It is our right to protect. Under the United Nations, it's our right to protect the people to intervene. And this is how they do it. This is how they did it in Syria. This is how they did it in Libya. This is how they operate. And so last year, Donald Trump said this. He said, if the people overthrow the government, we'll support them. And Charlie Kirk said, absolutely, Mr. President. There's a big difference between a top-down regime change and a bottom-up revolution. No, there isn't. They're exactly the same thing. They're effectively the same thing. And I see there are anti-regime Iranians that are aware of Israeli CIA involvement, and they say, it doesn't matter. This is a popular uprising. Even still, it serves the interests of Israel and the United States. So whether it's even organic or not organic, it still serves the interests of the regime. It still beckons for Western intervention to achieve the result that they desired a long time ago. So, and we talked about this all last night, but I saw this from Jimmy Dore. He's taking the Candace Owens Kool-Aid. He invited me on his show, canceled the day of, said, I got to do my research on you. Then he's talking to Loopy. Then he's talking to Fruit Loops, Candace Owens, who's totally insane. Didn't need a background check for her. Didn't need a fact check. Didn't need to do his due diligence for her. And now he's just, I guess, uncritically pumping out this garbage. Did you see the latest Candace Owens theory? I saw, and I promise I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but seriously. Today, she's talking about remote viewing, which for those that don't know, her latest theory is that Charlie Kirk is using ancient Sumerian technology, Sumer, the ancient Fertile Crescent civilization from the dawn of history. She says that the CIA, through Project Looking Glass, acquired ancient Sumerian technology, which allows them to see the future. And the CIA has been tracking Charlie Kirk since his childhood because they identified him early on as a gifted child. So they have been handling him and grooming him since he was a little boy. And the reason that Charlie Kirk knew that he was going to die is because he saw the future using this ancient technology. That's where we are now. So very early on, we had a lot of leads that had not been fully investigated. There was talk about a donation from Israel. There was talk about a meeting with Bill Ackman. People were speculating about lost security camera footage from behind. There were at least some somewhat credible leads, some unanswered questions, and then it very quickly moved into targeted energy weapons, trap doors, body doubles, a secret beekeeper society. And then it was the Egyptian planes. Then this guy. Now we're just full on into clockwork elves, transdimensional beings, demons. It's totally insane. I don't know how anybody's still with that. And I feel very vindicated because I was very early on and very forceful, and I took a lot of flack for it. Back in September, I said, this stuff is totally insane. There's no evidence for it. It is probably the most simple explanation and most logical that some hicklib with a tranny boyfriend thinks that Charlie Kirk is a Nazi transphobe, got his grandfather's gun and shot him. Totally plausible. Happens all the time. How many transgender school shootings have happened in the past 3 or 4 years? There was Audrey McHale. There was the one in Minneapolis when they shot up that church. There was that one in Texas. I don't know if that was McHale or if that was a different one. There's at least 3, 4, or 5 in just the past few years. And that seems to be where it's coming from. So the idea that some gooner hicklib dating a tranny decided today's the day that we shut the transphobes' mouths, gets up on some perch accessible to any pedestrian, takes a shot. I mean, to me, that makes a lot more sense than this convoluted, what's even the theory at this point? We're just going from one thing to the next. If one theory doesn't work out, we just make up one that's more ridiculous. If that theory doesn't work out, well, that's also part of the conspiracy. They are trying to trick us. It's much bigger than we thought. The conspiracy just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And now the conspiracy to kill Charlie Kirk is about the space-time continuum itself. Think about how small it started. The conspiracy started out with, someone was stealing money at Turning Point and they didn't want Charlie to find out. Someone was embezzling $1 million, so they killed him. So it's like a Turning Point conspiracy. Then it turned into, Israel killed him because he was about to turn against Israel. Then it turned into, Israel, France, Egypt, and the United States killed him because he was going to reveal something that would change international affairs. Now, he was an indigo child. He was being groomed from birth by men in black hats, by these extraterrestrial beings, because he was going to break the space-time continuum. Reality broke. The Mandela effect happened. One universe combined with another in the multiverse when Charlie, and it's not, at what point do you get off the conspiracy train and just say, you know what, some tranny killed them? Like, they're crazy, they hate us, it's totally plausible.
Oh, you fucking bitch, dude.
So anyway, I saw that today and I'm like, I read the caption for the clip and then I watched the clip and I was like, wow, I can't believe this is real. But I guess I should. How quickly you go from I was told in a dream, my witness is in purgatory. Your Honor, I call to the stand Charlie Kirk. Order in the court. Counselor, what do you mean you call? He's dead, Your Honor. He's in purgatory. He testified in my dream. And like the court erupts. I'll allow it. Objection, Your Honor. You can't call to the stand a witness from purgatory. Overruled. I'll allow it. And then she gets on the stand. In my dream last night, while we were at Israel, and come on, guys. Anti-Semitism used to be smart. We used to be the smart ones. Don't you miss that?
Man.
It used to be an elite club. Charles Lindbergh, Henry Ford, Mel Gibson, Richard Wagner, Hitler. And now it's Candace Owens. It's like people with face tattoos. It's like people that believe that are into all this like alternative medicine stuff. You know, people that put their phone in like an EMF bag because they're worried about like radioactivity or something. And it's like, brother, we gotta retreat from that whole deal. Like, we just need to carve out our own space of refugees in our own movement here now. Anyway, so my witness is in purgatory. Now that's a new one. My witness isn't, and watch them say I'm not Catholic for saying that. I don't, I believe in purgatory. I don't believe that people intervene in global politics from purgatory, making appearances like that. But who knows? I mean, when the space-time continuum is at stake, Candace is an alien, Charlie's a time traveler. I guess anything is fair game. But we're going to move on. We're going to get into our news here. That's a pretty good bit. I'm proud of myself for that one. The courtroom blows up. Objection. That's funny. I'm proud of myself for that bit. All right, but we got to move on. We do have to move on. We got to get into our featured story tonight, which is all about Renee Good. And look, we have all seen the video. I'm not going to retell the whole story. I'm sure you guys know at this point. This 37-year-old woman named Renee Good was at an ICE protest, protesting against ICE, that is, in Minneapolis, Minnesota. There was a recent deployment of hundreds, thousands of ICE and National Guard. They're deployed by the Department of Homeland Security specifically to get to the bottom of this Somalian fraud scandal, which was uncovered by Nick Shirley. So this is the precipitating event. Somalian fraud is exposed, and we will get into what is happening there because that is very much a part of this story. And you cannot start in the middle. You have to start in the beginning. So this massive fraud is uncovered. DH.
Come on, man. Fucking bitch. God fucking damn. What's good stuff?
Jurisdiction to perform these duties. There are people in this country that have no legal standing to be here. They are being arrested by the federal government pursuant to the federal government's constitutional duty to protect borders. Federal law enforcement can't operate inside the country. And so harassing them by chasing them, blowing whistles, honking horns, getting in their way, boxing them in, shooting fireworks at detention facilities, that's not a protest. That's illegal. And this is what is happening. And one of those people that was preventing ICE from doing their job was Renee Good and her lesbian wife, who were out there in Minneapolis protesting in the thick of it. And the rest is history, as you know. Renee Good was blocking a number of ICE vehicles that apparently were, some of them, stuck in the snow, and they're being surrounded by demonstrators. It looks like an ambush. ICE approaches her vehicle, says, "Get out of the way." Her lesbian wife yells to her, "Drive, baby, drive, get out of the way." And what happens next is a subject of controversy. It appears that she puts her car in reverse, backs up, puts the car in drive, and either she tries to run over an ICE agent standing in front of her car, or she tries to turn to flee. The ICE agent in front of the car shoots her a bunch of times. She dies instantly. Her car crashes somewhere else. They're calling ICE murderers. Now, with regard to the actual shooting that took place, whether it's justified or not, I would contend that all you need to understand this scenario is to think about if it were any other law enforcement scenario. Because that's what ICE is, after all. ICE is federal law enforcement. ICE is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Homeland Security. So they are like the police. Now imagine if you're driving down the street and you see a traffic stop happening on the side of the road and a police officer has pulled somebody over, police car is behind another person's car, you're writing a ticket, talking to the person, whatever. Now imagine you drove in front of that person, you drove in front of that cop, putting him in front of your car and started screaming and yelling at him, blocking his vehicle, preventing him from getting away. If you think about it in those terms, it's pretty justifiable what happened here. Either the law has weight or it doesn't. Either you're a law enforcement officer or you're not. Is ICE law enforcement? Do they have the ability to give legal orders? Do they have jurisdiction to perform their duties? Because if they do, then blocking their vehicle with your vehicle, a deadly weapon, being told to exit your car and refusing a lawful command, and then not only not parking and surrendering immediately, but putting your car in reverse and then drive to either flee or kill somebody, it really doesn't matter, actually, at that point. At that point, you forfeit your life. And this is no different than George Floyd. It's no different than any other one of these instances of police brutality. How do you not end up in this situation? You don't block a law enforcement vehicle. You can stand on the sidewalk and protest. If she was standing on the sidewalk, raising a sign up and down, yelling at the cops, and they walked up and shot her in the face, I would be against that. But that's not what happened, and that's not where it happened. She was blocking a law enforcement vehicle intentionally with her vehicle. That's not a protest. She's given a lawful command, refuses, and it really doesn't matter whether she intended to kill this guy or even hit him, or whether she intended to flee. At that point, that is the officer's discretion what to do. And law enforcement are human beings. What has been happening to ICE over the past 13 months since Trump got into office is that they are being targeted. They are being shot at. Their facilities are being bombed. They are being ambushed in many different cities. And when they try to arrest people, sometimes they're dragged behind a car. They're hit with the car. It has happened. It did happen to this ICE officer. And so you don't want to get mag dumped in the face? Hey, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. You would have no problems if you were at home with your kids. People want to talk about her boy, her son. Well, you know what? She should have been home with her son and her fucking dog. People say, what about her dog? What about her poor son? I feel for the son. She should have been home with the son. What are you doing out in the middle of the street? You're not G.I. Jane. You're not a soldier. What do you think this is? Anyhow, you think this is a free-for-all? She should have been home. Then she would have had no problems. But that's getting to the heart of the matter. This is lawlessness. These people think it's a game. That's fundamentally what is going on here. And that's why I say it's important to start at the beginning of the story. So what's going on in Minneapolis? What has been happening for years, this is not actually a recent phenomenon, for years. What has been happening is that people from Africa are being resettled in Minnesota. Why? Because Minnesota is one of our best states in the country. Best healthcare, great economy, great universities. And so people take a look at one of the most well-run states with the highest human development index, and they say, we should take all these people from a broken, criminal nation that barely even exists. It's a completely dysfunctional shithole filled with pirates and terrorists and gangsters and clans warring all the time. Let's take a bunch of these people and dump them off in literally one of the most developed states in the country. They come here ostensibly out of generosity. Americans are opening up their borders, maybe not. Maybe this is happening against their will. But under the pretext of generosity, these refugees, these people are being resettled into Minneapolis because it's a great city inside of a great state. And what do they start to do? Can't help themselves. They start stealing. And it's estimated that it could be upwards of $9 billion of fraud. This is a story from the New York Times. It says, quote, the Trump administration will send hundreds of federal agents to Minneapolis today and tomorrow to support the work of Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Ms. Noem, the DHS secretary, cited a major welfare fraud scandal linked to Minnesota's Somali community as the reason for dispatching more agents to the liberal city. A vast majority of those charged since 2022 with stealing federal dollars from a pandemic-era program for feeding children and other programs were U.S. citizens by birth or naturalization, even better. Still, Ms. Noem characterized the federal deployment as a mission to uncover the true corruption and theft that has happened during an interview on a Fox News program. She called Minneapolis the ground zero for stealing taxpayer dollars and protecting criminals. Ms. Noem said that some nonprofits were being investigated for their funding sources and claimed they had trained protesters in impeding law enforcement operations and weaponizing vehicles against ICE agents without offering evidence. I love when these shit-eating journalists at the New York Times, they throw that little thing in there at the end, without any evidence. The evidence is everywhere. Isn't that your job? You're a journalist. I live in Chicago. They are impeding law enforcement all the time. That's what dumbass was doing in Minneapolis. The Trump administration official said without any evidence. Without any evidence. First of all, you're the journalist. That's your job. The government makes a claim. You investigate that. Second of all, everybody knows that's what's happening. Everybody sees it all the time. It's all over everybody's community apps. It's all over social media. I mean, they're not even hiding it. Anyway, this is from Wikipedia. It says an acting U.S. attorney for Minnesota, Joe Thompson, estimated that the total fraud could be as high as $9 billion, representing more than half of all payments to the 14 high-risk Medicaid programs since 2018. So think about, this is the initiating action, okay? Think about this. You've got a state, Minnesota, and who makes up the population of Minnesota? It's Scandinavian people, Swedish people, Finnish people. I think there's a lot of Germans there too, I'm not really sure. You have a lot of Scandinavian people living in Minnesota. Because of the type of people that are living there, this is one of the best states in the country. Highest human development index, great health care, great universities, great public services, generous benefits. What's the big idea? We're going to take a bunch of illiterate Africans with an 80 IQ from Somalia and drop them off here. And for those that don't know, Somalia is not even a country. The central government in Somalia doesn't even have control over all of the territory. Most of it is controlled by ISIS. There's at least 3 breakaway states inside of its territory. It's run by clans. It's not even really a state. It's not even really a real country. So you're taking the worst of the worst. It's not even like you're going to, I don't know, a more functional African country to the extent that that exists. You're going to one of the least functional African countries. You're taking these, and they're Muslim too. They're not even Christian. So you take these Muslim pirates, these Muslim clan, tribal warlords from the worst country in Africa and drop them off in the best-run, whitest state in America, and they form an enclave. They do not assimilate at all. They form their own enclave, and they form their own institutions. They speak the Somali language. They practice Islam. They don't change the way they dress, the way they act. And the people who come here and their descendants are stealing from the government. We bring them here out of charity. We're going to help them. We feel sorry for them. We feel guilty. Why is our country so rich and their country is so poor and violent? Why do we have it so good and they have it so bad? So we embrace them. There's no benefit. Why would we do it? There's no benefit to bringing these people in for us. This is pure charity. This is pure charity that only our country is dumb enough to do. No other country is doing this. No other type of country is doing this. So ostensibly, again, nominally, we are bringing these people in because we're altruistic. We feel guilty. We want to extend an open arm. America is this great country, and we're a moral nation, so we bring them in. What do these people start to do immediately? They start stealing. They do not assimilate. They do not adopt the local customs, language, religion, culture, at all. And they don't respect it either. They don't like us. They don't get along with us. They have disdain for us. You see this from their representative, Ilhan Omar. She could barely contain her contempt for white people, white Americans. There's no gratitude, no appreciation, no deference. And they're stealing on top of it. They're looting the public dole, setting up these fake businesses. I imagine with their accomplices in the Democratic Party that are helping them do this. You have to have it. You have to have somebody who's in on the take in the Democratic machine that is benefiting from this, skimming off the top to the tune of billions of dollars. This is billions of dollars. We bring you here. It's a gift to live in our peaceful, rich country. We're giving you public assistance on top of it. You're just stealing it. So think about that. You work as a white person. Your ancestors fought in the wars. Your ancestors built the railroads. Your ancestors dug the tunnels, built the skyscrapers. You did everything right. You pay your taxes. You go to work. You become a homeowner. You're a law-abiding citizen. You do everything you're supposed to do. Every year, the government is taking a chunk out of you, a quarter, a third, whatever it is. And how much of that money is going to these criminal foreigners that do not belong here at all? And many of them have no legal standing even to be here. And they're just stealing it for their own enrichment and sending it to Africa, sending it to their people in Africa that hate us even more. This is what is uncovered in Minnesota, the whitest state with the blackest blacks, the most functional state with the most dysfunctional blacks. They come here, they fucking hate us, they have no gratitude, and what do they start doing? Stealing everything that isn't bolted to the ground. And this is uncovered by some journalist, Nick Shirley, some 23-year-old YouTuber, who just bothers to knock on the door of one of these daycare centers and see if it's a real business. In response to this, the Trump government deploys all these ICE law enforcement to get to the bottom of it. This is really where our story of Renee Good begins. Imagine you're seeing this, and by the way, she's not even from there. She's from Colorado Springs. She moves to Missouri. She moves to Minnesota last year. She sees this happening in her neighborhood. There is an enclave of complete foreigners, complete aliens, stealing from you, stealing from your state, your community. What's her first instinct? She literally is going to throw herself in front of law enforcement to prevent them from investigating and apprehending the culprits. Who does that? What kind of person does that? I'll tell you. A civilizational enemy. That's an
Fucking
enemy
retards
of
do.
civilization. That's not somebody in the middle that doesn't know the facts. That's not somebody that understands there's fraud, but also is weary of some of ISIS's more aggressive tactics. This is a civilizational enemy. This is someone that is so far left and so fucked up. If these people had it their way, our country wouldn't exist. What even is that? You see this fraud occurring, your first thought is, I have to go and stop the police from investigating? I have to use my car to block the police from making arrests? This is a person that is your enemy. She is the enemy of your children. She is the enemy of your ancestors. Okay? And we don't actually even need to understand how she got that way. We don't need to empathize with her feelings. Because there's no debating with a person like that. We all know how people are. This is a 37-year-old woman. She's a lesbian. She's a poet. She has a gay pride flag hanging outside her house. You think you're going to debate with one of these people and win them over? Hey, I know you're blocking ICE with your car to prevent them from investigating this fraud, but do you want to debate with Charlie Kirk? Do you want to go on Jubilee 20 versus 1? You can't reason with these people. I don't care how she got the way she is, and I actually don't think it's worth the effort to try to convince her otherwise. People like this are our political enemy, and we have to defeat them. I said it when Charlie Kirk got shot. When Charlie Kirk got shot and people like this were celebrating, and they were, it was exactly that type of person. They saw an innocent 31-year-old father of two get shot in the neck for no reason. Their first thought was to say, let's go, this is awesome. I said, there's no reasoning with people like this. They have to lose. They have to be defeated. We have to win. There's no alternative. There's no substitute. There's no compromise. There's no debate. There's no resolution. People that do these types of things that don't get it, I'm not interested how they got so fucked up. I don't think it's worth the effort to convince them otherwise. I want to defeat these people. I want to beat these people. And what does that mean? It means that we need our people to win in the elections. We need to enforce our will through the law. If they try to prevent it through illegal means, put them in jail. These people are better off in jail. Ask yourself this. If this woman and every other person like her, if we woke up tomorrow and they were all in prison for the next 5 years, would that be good or bad for our country? Because I think that would be the best thing that could happen to us. I don't even care what color they are.
Come
If you can
on,
take every
man.
one of the gangbangers, every one of the Somalis, you take every one of these white female liberals, Jewish communists, and you could put them in jail for 5 years and let the government do what it needs to do. Mass deportations, industrial policy,
Damn it!
get the corruption out. Whatever. We would be better off for it. And she resisted. She got shot in the face. Too bad. So sad. Tragedy for who exactly? This is a little bit about the victim. This is from the New York Times. I'll read this to you. It says, quote, in her final moments, Renee Good was in the driver's seat of her maroon Honda Pilot wearing a light blue flannel over a red hoodie, speaking to an immigration agent who was recording her on his phone. That's fine, dude. I'm not mad, she said as the agent circled her car. Miss Good and her wife Becca prodded him. You want to come at us? Moments later, she was shot dead by an ICE agent on Wednesday morning. The agent was near the front of her car and fired his gun after she drove toward him and then turned to the right on a snowy Minneapolis street. When she was killed, Miss Good and her wife had been participating in a protest in response to ICE agents spotted in the neighborhood. She attended Old Dominion University in Norfolk, Virginia, where she won a prize in 2020 for a poem entitled On Learning to Dissect Fetal Pigs, before graduating with an English degree in December of that year. Ms. Good moved to Kansas City, Missouri after college in October 2023, successfully changed her name to Renee Macklin Good, writing in a court petition that she wanted to share a name with her partner. In the court filing, she said that her 2 older children lived in Colorado. In Kansas City, neighbors recalled a happy family of 3, the Goods and their exuberant son, now 6 years old, who lived in a small home with a gay pride flag in a quiet neighborhood on the south side of the city. One neighbor said he did not think of Miss Good as an activist. He lamented that her son, whose father died 2 years ago, was now without her as well. Oh, boo-hoo. You got to ask yourself, what is this person doing in the middle of the street? 37-year-old lesbian. Gay pride flag hanging outside the house. She's a professional poet. Her husband died. The father of her children died a year ago. She's out there with the wife, LARPing as a resistance in the middle of the street, blocking ICE vehicles with her car. What are you doing, dummy? What are you doing? And look at how cocky they both are. Her and the wife, laughing at the ICE agent. Come at us. Come on, big boy. Try it. Drive, baby. Drive. Yeah, do it. And then they get shot in the face. Wait, what the heck? You can't do that. And it's going back to what I said before. These are people that do not believe there are any rules here. For them, it's a big free-for-all. Refugees welcome, open borders, anybody come here, take whatever you want, steal shit, burn shit down, ram ICE agents, ambush them, block them with your car. It's literally all a big free-for-all. And the women in particular are so bold. You could see from the look in her face, that is a woman that has never had any accountability for her actions. She's got short hair, puffy, fat face, nose ring, crazy eyes looking in opposite directions. This is your prototypical stupid liberal bitch that has never been told no, never been held accountable. She lives in a world where you can do anything, say anything. No one's going to lay a hand on you. No one's going to touch you. Nothing bad is going to happen to you. I'm going to block ICE in my vehicle. I hope nothing horrible happens. This is like a movie. She got shot in the face. And I think there's no better application of the phrase fuck around and find out than that. You fucked around, you found out. And I'm in favor of more people fucking around and finding out in our country. Because people need to find out. People need to find out that there is a limit to how far society can be pushed. Look at where we are after the pandemic, the forced lockdowns, mask mandate, and the forced vaccines. Look at where we are, $40 trillion in debt. These people are looting the public coffer. 10 million illegal immigrants in 4 years. You have a crime wave because everyone tried to abolish the police. Summer of Love, George Floyd, they literally burned down that city 5 years ago. And now we have even the slightest semblance of a restoration of order. Trump's not even doing it. They're not even deporting that many people. But you start to just impose some limits. You start to just enforce some of the laws, close the border, start looking into some of the fraud. And these people are out there blocking the ICE vehicles. You push too far. At some point, you have to meet resistance. Yes, at some point, you have to die. You know, you let in 10 million people. We try to enforce the law. We find out they're stealing. You try to investigate the stealing. These idiots are not only protesting, they're ambushing the law enforcement. Ambushing law enforcement, boxing them in, throwing stuff at them, trying to run them over with their car. You think you should be able to run over ICE with your car? So there's literally no rules. You don't have to come into the country legally. You don't have to respect the country. You don't have to follow the law. You don't have to only take what you're legally entitled to. You don't have to follow commands by ICE. You get to exercise a mob veto over the president, DHS, and ICE all by yourself with your car. And the grand prize, if you don't like that you're being apprehended for blocking ICE, you get to drive off, run a guy over, and flee. No, sorry. You don't get to do that. You don't. And hopefully people start to look at this and realize this is what happens. Let ICE do their job. Illegals should go home. You don't want to be separated. You don't want to be sent to El Salvador? Then go home. They're literally paying you to go home. Think about it. With the, the Home app, the DHS Home or CBP Home app, They literally retooled it. If you're an illegal immigrant, you could get a $3,000 check and a plane ticket back to your country of origin if you just leave. You broke the law, time to go home. But they're going to sit around and wait to get deported, and then when we rough them up a little bit, oh, it's the end of the world, this is the Gestapo, this is Hitler. And then you're going to have riots by their accomplices, the traitors in America, that are going to throw themselves in front of ICE. And there's no limit to what is tolerated there. You get to scream in their face, throw shit at them, block their cars, ambush them, throw bombs at them, run them over with a car. Now, here's the bigger problem, however. Unfortunately, the Trump administration is not serious about any of this. It is good, and I'm actually very surprised that the Trump administration stood behind this ICE officer. That's a very good thing. But the problem is, we need to put these radicals on notice. The Trump government needs to put them on notice, and that means overwhelming force. The problem is that ICE is going into these cities with a few hundred guys, a few thousand guys, and they are totally outnumbered. They're totally unable to carry out their duties because they are being harassed, chased, impeded. They don't have the numbers. And so they send in the National Guard on the heels, and they bring literally like 400 National Guard, which is not enough. And what you see on social media is that these radicals and rioters and psychos, they have no fear. They chase ICE, they're screaming at ICE, getting in their face, beating their chest. They're at these detention facilities, they're rioting outside their hotels in Minneapolis. It's not enough law enforcement. It's not enough, and then the radicals get emboldened. They're cowards. They don't want to die for this. They don't want to get hurt. They're going out there at these facilities in Minneapolis, Portland, Chicago, wherever, because they know there's going to be more rioters than law enforcement. They know they're not going to get arrested. They know they're not going to get the book thrown at them. And so every time you see a video of this on social media, these people get emboldened. They start to think it's a game. This is just what you do. If you're against Trump's ICE policies, you get in your car and you chase an ICE vehicle, and we all have a big laugh. We're heroes. You can't let them think they can get away with that. You can't let even one of them get away with that. You need a 100% rate of, if you fuck around with ICE, you go to jail. You try and chase them, harass them, you're getting your ass kicked, you are going to jail. But the problem is, when people see that they can get away with it, you get more of it, and you're actually provoking
At best.
more of it. People love these videos on social media of this Bovino guy, the head of ICE, getting yelled at in Target. These hotels are being broken into. They're doing the noisemakers outside the hotel, and they literally think it's a game. Person gets shot, and they run. They flee. You see these law enforcement vehicles fleeing. What needs to happen is Trump needs to send in an overwhelming amount of force, not 2,000, not 3,000, like 20,000. Go city by city. Send in 20,000 troops. Shut down the neighborhood.
30,000.
Take full control of the neighborhood. Get everybody you need to get, and move on to the next. No games. People try to impede. They get thrown in jail. You want to protest? Stand on the other side of the road. These people have to be crushed. They have to be totally crushed, totally overwhelmed. They have to know that if I'm going there, the best I can do is blow my little whistle. Because if I try anything else, I'm going to jail. That's what they need to know. But the reason why it's happening this way is because the Trump administration is not serious about mass deportations at all. They're going through the motions, and they're playing up the cruelty of ICE. And by cruelty, I mean they're posting edits of the deportations to music. They're taunting the left. They're taunting the illegal aliens. They send in 200 guys to arrest a few illegal immigrants. And then they post a hype edit on Twitter, and maybe they beat a guy up or whatever. They are, it looks a little bit undisciplined. And this is part of a calculated strategy to create the appearance that ICE is getting them out, that Trump is keeping his promises. It's mass deportations. without actually having to do it. And the reason why they don't want to deport millions and millions of illegals is because that would be bad for the economy, at least in the short term. You could debate the macroeconomic outlook in the long term on this. But in the short term, you remove 10 million people from the country, it's going to hit consumer spending. It's going to put upward pressure on prices because you're going to have to look for a lot more waiters and hotel workers and hospitality workers and all that kind of stuff. And so Trump's friends in Silicon Valley and Trump's friends on Wall Street, they don't want him actually to do mass deportations, because you start carrying that out, it's going to hurt the macroeconomy. It's going to hurt growth. And you can't have these aggressive tariff policies, persistent inflation. You can't have all the other things you want to do and then have the effect of the mass deportations. So I'm of the mind, and I said this in 24, they really have no intention of doing the volume like that. They'll be satisfied with 300,000 to 500,000 deportations per year. And that's granted, that's a lot, but it's not really enough. It's not enough per day. We're not going to deport as many as we need to within 4 years. So they want to have their cake and eat it too. Well, we're not going to deport all that many people, but if we deport the people that we are getting rid of really hard and in a mean way, in a very mean-spirited and visible way, well, then the base will think we're getting the job done. And this is a classic overpromise, under-deliver from Trump. And here's the issue with this. That's all fine and well. And we're still deporting a lot of people. I mean, it's better than you would have under another type of administration. But what you're doing with the left is you're antagonizing them. And what is going to happen in the midterms, what's going to happen in the next few years, I think you're going to get more political violence from these people. They're going to turn out and vote in record numbers because all that's being done is you're just pissing them off and you're not getting anything for it. You're pissing these people off. You're not crushing them. You're not overwhelming them. You're not even doing the mass deportations. All you're doing is pissing them off. And the more you piss them off, the more they're going to consolidate, the more they're going to activate, the more desperate and wild they're going to get. And so I am of the belief, and I have been, Trump is not going far enough in any capacity. Trump needs to be gutting the federal government. 10% reduction in the federal workforce, not enough. You need to shut down entire departments and agencies, bro. You got to fire literally everybody and start from scratch. Start a new department and agency and eliminate the old one. Start a new department and agency with all of your people and eradicate the old one. You know, it's not good enough to trim a little bit here and there. Fire a few thousand people in this department, fire a few thousand there. You need to totally reset the government. And when it comes to the deportations, then don't send a couple thousand ICE. You got to send in a serious force. Take over the city and arrest everybody. Arrest everybody that is conspiring. Arrest everybody that is inciting the riots. Throw all these people in jail. Lock them up while you finish the job. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. But the Republicans never know how to use power, and so they get in power. They really have no idea how to wield it. They don't have a plan. They're not ambitious enough. They're not bold or decisive enough. And so they start getting something together, and in the meantime, all they do is get the left mad and energized, and then they lose it in the next one. This is the pattern. This is how they operate. So my message to Trump and Vance and the whole government is get it together. You got to shut this down. This is bad optics. And I don't mean, when I say bad optics, I don't mean shooting some idiot in the face. That's not bad optics. It's bad optics that you're in retreat. It's bad optics seeing an angry mob of idiot liberals chasing law enforcement as they beat an exit, as they beat a retreat, putting the car in reverse and speeding away. That's a terrible look. It should be the other way around. It should be a line of National Guard and ICE moving forward in a line, blasting them with tear gas and them in retreat and them running. And the people that trip and fall over, they should be getting picked up and thrown in the back of a truck and put in jail. That should be the image. So that's why I said in 2024, I don't actually believe that better than the alternative is always optimal. Some people say something is better than nothing. Sometimes nothing is better than something. Because when it comes to power, you win or you die. Those are the rules. So if you're playing the game, you have to win. If you don't, you're dead. If you don't even play the game, you can go and live your life and do whatever you need to do. But if you play the game and you don't really give a shit, you're dead. You know, like that's what people don't understand. And what I mean by that is Trump gets elected, and I said, look, he's not going to take it far enough. He's not going to do mass deportations. He's not going to shrink the government or reset the government with Schedule F. He's not going to do these things. And people say, yeah, well, but a little something is better than nothing. No. A little something is sometimes better, like, I don't know, like a little side of fries or like a little bit of ice cream. But if it's like a little bit of trying to kill the king, no, that doesn't work. If you try to kill the king a little bit, you're dead. You have to go all in. It's all or nothing. If you're doing like parkour, you know, these people that are like scaling a skyscraper and jumping, you can't do that a little bit. If you miss, you die. You have to fully send it. You have to go all in. If you don't go all in, you shouldn't even start. Because if you start, then you're just sealing your own fate. And that is what I fear is going to happen. I think that when all is said and done, none of this is going to be worth it. We're galvanizing the enemy. They're going to kill more people. But by that, I mean the left. And it's all for nothing. So they got to get it together and really drop the hammer on these radicals. Whatever happened to that? You elect Trump, you think you're going to get revenge and everything. Have they gone after Antifa? Charlie Kirk got shot. Have they cracked down on these left-wing radicals? ICE is getting bitched out everywhere they go. Have they cracked down on any of these people? It's time to get serious. But I don't think this administration, I don't think they have it in them. Kristi Noem, she's not the one. Corey Lewandowski, he's not the one either. These people are incompetent. And Stephen Miller doesn't even care. You know, people say we need Stephen Miller. Oh, okay. We've been waiting on Stephen Miller for a long time to do something. It's not happening. So, that's my take on this whole Renee Good thing. People are debating, is it justified? Is it not justified? I say, don't do the crime if you can't do the time. You don't want to get shot in the face 100 times? Don't block ICE with your car. They tell you to get out, you get out. Better yet, don't be there in the first place. Be on the sidewalk lawfully like everybody else. The second you pull up in front of an ICE vehicle, you're potentially forfeiting your life like that. Then you refuse a lawful command, doubly so. Then you try to flee, okay, forget about it. Now it's over. And I really have a problem with these people that say that she is, that this is some kind of tragic situation. I don't think there's anything tragic about it at all. I think it's good. Honestly, I think it's good. I think it was good that George Floyd died. I think it's good that she died. She's a complete idiot. She's a typical liberal idiot. Irredeemable, unrecoverable. People could say, well, you know, that's not Christian. Well, that's the reality. You know, 37-year-old lesbian who's out there with her wife blocking ICE in the middle of this thing. That's about as irredeemable as it gets. That's a good day. It's one less idiot in the world, to be honest with you. People say, it doesn't matter what side you're on. Talk about obfuscation. Talk about a false equivocation. Or a false equivalency, I should say. People say, well, we were mad at the left for celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. Here's the difference. Charlie Kirk is an innocent person. Charlie Kirk is a Christian who was legally exercising his right to free speech, doing his thing, and he was murdered in cold blood for no reason. This is a woman who's breaking the law on behalf of criminal aliens and tried to run over a cop and got shot in the face. There's no moral equivalency, and there's no moral equivalency between the right and the left. If some left-wing idiot wants to lay down their life for their cause, let him. Some stupid idiot wants to lay down their life for these Somali criminals, let him. For these Venezuelan gangbangers, let him. And I'm disappointed at all these people bitching and moaning about it. They hate you. And this is maybe my final point, then we'll get into the super chats. It seems that many of the Israel critics on the right have been absolutely captured by the left, and there's this false sense that we're going to like win them over. I arguably was we could talk about that another time. People say that happened to me. I'll tell you why people think that's the case. But I look at guys like Tucker. Tucker's like with Anna Kasparian, and there's this flirtation with the left. Let me tell you something about Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur and all these people. These are like socialist, left-wing radicals. And yeah, they disavowed those that celebrated Charlie Kirk's death. But they're in favor of the transgender stuff. They're in favor of mass migration. They're in favor of all this stuff. And it's not negotiable. The idea that we're going to shake hands with these people and sit down and it's all going to be hunky-dory, it's all cool as long as you are giving up your concerns. As long as you are sounding like a leftist, the left
it's all cool until you get shot in the face.
But the second that you assert yourself as a right-winger, they still got a big problem with it. So there's this big naivete on the side of these guys like Tucker and others where they say, we're going to unite with the left against Israel. These left-wing people are making a lot of good points. No, they're not. These communist, socialist, climate people, these are not our friends at all. And, the evidence of that is what happened to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was debating with these people. Charlie Kirk shared a stage with these people. He would actually sit down and discuss the differences. When he died, they cheered. They laughed. They celebrated. Trump is doing all the things that we want to do. Or at least he's going through the motions of it. In the mind of liberals, Trump is doing mass deportations. They're calling it terrorism. Why do you think they're so anti-Trump? It's because of stuff like that. The left doesn't really care. Do you think the left cares about Epstein? They should have told that to Biden. They should have told that to any of their representatives. They don't really care about Epstein. You remember when Roger Stone showed up and said Bill Clinton is a rapist? And Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian lost their fucking minds. Now they go on Piers Morgan and say, pedo protector, Trump is oh, now you care about rape? Now you care about... You didn't care about it when it was Bill Clinton. You didn't care about it when it was your people. There was no call for the Epstein files from the left during the Biden years, was there? They don't give a shit about that stuff. The left is using that stuff to attack Trump because they don't like the other things that Trump is doing, like the mass deportations. And I'm talking strictly about these radical left-wingers. I don't even think they really believe in that stuff. And to the extent that they're critical of Trump with regard to Israel, they're not anti-Israel. They love Israel. You think George Soros is anti-Israel? He's not. He's anti-Netanyahu. He's pro-Israel. You think Max Blumenthal's anti-Israel? He might be a little bit anti-Israel, but he's very pro-Jewish. Extremely. He used to work for the SPLC. These far-left people are not our friends. They are not looking out for you. They will not piss on you if you are on fire to save your life. So I see people getting deluded about that. They say, well, it doesn't matter what side you're on. It certainly matters. One side of the aisle is in favor of Christianity and preserving our civilization and law and order, and the other side is in favor of abolishing the police, opening the borders, chemical castration. So, yes, right and left are meaningful and real categories. People actually believe in these things, and this is one of these idiots that did believe in them. This is some idiot that really went out on a limb in the middle of everything that's going on to defend Somali scammers. I said, I'm going to jump in front of law enforcement. Nothing bad will ever happen to me because I'm a woman. She got shot. That's the wages. Right? The law like that, you get shot. It happened to Ashley Babbitt. The left didn't cry for her. That's the wages. So, we're going to move on. We'll take a look at our super chats. But yeah, I've never seen something that should be such a cut and dry issue, and then I see all these other people with the sympathy. I'm like, what is the sympathy here? This is the kind of person that hates you, wants you dead, wants your kids dead. They want to rape your kids. They smile with glee when they see these, teachers in kindergarten and elementary school indoctrinating the youth with their radical politics. That's who we're talking about. They want you dead. They want your kids raped. And people say, well, it doesn't matter what side you're on. It certainly matters. Where's that moral conviction from our own side? My only belief is no blood guilt.
What the hell?
I mean, it's just like, it's totally insane. The marriage
Fuck
with the
around,
left is
man.
not a stop. Fuck the left. Seriously. You know, anyway, but we're going to move on. We'll take a look at these super chats. We'll see what you guys have to say about all of it. Let's see. I'm going to get set up. Yeah. Some people really surprised me. And, you know, I said this on Twitter. People didn't really get it. Trump is invading Greenland. A protester gets shot. And you get all these people crying about it. It's like, I'm sorry, weren't you just posting a Hitler edit yesterday? You do know who Hitler was, right? All these knuckleheads for the past 2 years, it's just AI translated Hitler speeches. I don't know, he sounds pretty good to me. Posting the edits. Hitler fought for his people. He fought the bankers, blah, blah. All these Hitler apologists. Trump invades a neighboring country, kills a protester. All these people are crying. I don't like the government killing people. You can't just invade another country. We got to be consistent. But do you know who Hitler was? And then you realize that people are completely delusional. They know fucking nothing. They don't know anything about politics. They don't even know anything about Hitler. They don't know anything about anything. And so people see some edgy memes on Instagram, and that is the extent of their education. These fucking dumb idiots, they got red-pilled a year ago, and the extent of their political education is doom scrolling on Instagram, liking these AI-translated Hitler speech edits. They think Hitler was like Ron Paul. There's this whole, you know, of course, some of the World War II narrative is, as we know, exaggerated or fake. They have their own fake World War II narrative, where Hitler saved his country, and then he was going to liberate the Christians from Jewish communism because he loved Slavic people. He was going to fight the Soviets to free his beloved. He loved Slavic people. He was going to save them from Jewish communism, and they would hold parade. Like, no, sorry, that's actually not what Hitler was. So, in their mind, Hitler is literally a Ron Paul-esque figure. Hitler was like a center-left economic populist who wanted to take over the government, to leave everybody alone. Hey, man, I just want to get Jewish banking out of my country and leave me alone. They say that Hitler was nice to Jesse Owens. He wanted to build an empire based on a racial hierarchy, but people go, oh, but America was racist too. This is literally like Soviet propaganda. This is literally just whataboutism. He wanted to take over half of Europe and settle it with racially superior Aryans and enslave the inferior races. He wanted like a racial empire. And these people think that, no, he was like a wholesome Chungus nationalist who wasn't racist and so misunderstood. It's crazy. And you go, well, so somebody is on the wrong page here. I don't think we're all on the same page about this. Because we're talking about, like, a progressive right-wing regime, like building an empire. We're talking about strength and excellence. You know, we're kind of getting into some of these themes, and these people are like, what the fuck? I think that we should stop paying our taxes, and I don't like the government getting bigger, and I don't like cops killing people, and I don't like foreign interventions. It's like, okay, so you're just a liberal. Like, you're just a fucking liberal. And you think Hitler was liberal, and that's insane. So, that's why I call them low IQ anti-Semites. They don't even know. I tweeted that, and they said, wow, he took the check. It's like, no, you don't understand. I'm saying you're a bad Hitler enthusiast. I'm saying you don't understand your own lore. So anyway, well, we're going to move on. We'll take a look at the super chats. If these people knew who Hitler was, they would not be posting that shit. Because these people are all just like disgruntled liberal normies. They're just like Ron Paul heads, Bernie bros, vaguely populist normies that are too online, and they're projecting that ideology onto Hitler and saying, well, he was just a misunderstood guy like me. Not quite. Anyway, let's take a look. We'll see what you guys have to say.
Base Wang sent $25. Hey Nick, your first 2 shows this week have been so smiling. You even called it a couple months ago. Trump will become based again right around midterms. Do you think he will keep making good geopolitical moves, and our fleet is only temporarily out of the Middle East? Or will we continue to focus on the West?
Are there any other questions? How many questions is that? You think Trump will keep making good geopolitical moves? It's a terrible question. I don't understand, honestly, how you people get out of bed in the morning. It's all particular. There's nothing general about it. What do you mean making good geopolitical moves? He did the capture of Maduro. It's something I support, but the situation in Iran is simultaneous and ongoing, so people say. It's like, you can't really generalize it. There's a few theaters of conflict, and it's not like there's some breakthrough, like he was doing bad things, now he's doing good things. He's got a good policy on the Western Hemisphere. He's got a bad policy on the Middle East. That's how it's always been, honestly. So, will he keep making good moves? Brilliant question. Our fleet is only temporarily out of the Middle East? Well, they move all the time. So, they're moving one back now. And it's not, okay, whatever. Or will we continue to focus on the West? They're moving another carrier strike group right now.
Pop sent $20. What was your favorite Minecraft server growing up?
I didn't play on a server like that. I just played Pocket Edition on my iPad. So I didn't really, I didn't play on PC.
Michigan Bro
God fucking hell.
2023. Fuck the Bears, the Lions, Blue Circle. Mandolin sent $20. I believe you're a big reason my fiancé changed his mind from having a non-religious outdoor wedding to a Catholic ceremony. He also now attends Mass with me every week. Your religious monologues are very compelling. I had to give my thanks. God bless.
Wow, glad to hear it. Love to hear that. Good for you.
Impractical Grow sent $40. Logging in. The X all will fit when you ascend.
All right.
Imperial Socialist sent $50. Saw a leftist reel saying ICE are modern slave catchers, not the Gestapo. But really ICE is more like Harriet Tubman, taking the modern slave wage illegals from their masters, corporations, and delivering them to freedom in their native homelands. The left isn't ready for this level of woke, though. Sapien sent $20. Hey Nick, I just ate a Whopper. Jason Todd sent $25. Been watching Asman while you were gone. Someone needs to propagandize him on the whole Iran situation. Bro has been all in on all the narratives being hard funneled through the media like you explained yesterday, and it's getting kinda sad to watch.
Well, maybe we have a difference of opinion. I have been watching his coverage of Iran, but yeah, it's all propaganda.
Underground Bob sent $50. Hey Nick, the beard looks great and congrats on the weight loss. You'd probably enjoy the strategy board game propaganda. Control the narrative, dominate the world. Very on theme for the show.
Thanks for the
Humane
rap.
Ranch Roy sent $25. Charlie Kirk was a time traveler, okay?
Candace is an alien and Charlie's a time traveler. Got that? You ready to accept the
Anonymous
latest
sent
narrative?
$20. Russia and China would bear major responsibility if American troops were killed by their shithead allies in Iran.
It's not really true at all.
Bro Iris Russ sent $95. I'm 30 and had been an alcoholic in denial for years and smoked weed almost every night to relax. Started watching the show last year and you inspired me to face my problems. I'm now weed-free and completely sober from alcohol.
Wow.
Strictly few and down now. All I have to say is thank you. You and my faith in Christ saved my life.
Well, hey, thanks for the super chat. I love to hear that, man. Good for you. God bless. 30-year-old boomer. Uh-oh. No, but that's good. Sometimes you just need a little kick in the ass. We all know what problems we have. And sometimes you just need a little push. So I'm really glad to hear that. Good for you. I love that. Gotta lock in. It's all, at the end of the day, people get so caught up in politics. And, I'm actively encouraging everybody to get involved and level up and all that. But what I really want for the people watching the show is to just, get their life together. If nothing else. People want to change the world. Change yourself first. Excuse me. People get so caught up. Can we change anything? Is it fixable? Is it possible? Can we get out of this? And I say it starts with one person, because what is the world other than the people in it? And we can't expect the other people to change if we don't change. We can't expect society to change. I got to get up and tell everybody what to do. We have to be the change, not to be corny or whatever, but I'm a huge believer in that. I don't think that change is something that is imposed. It's something that kind of proceeds. There's an internal change. I'm a big believer that, and I have to give credit where it's due. I talked to Indian Bronson a couple of years ago, and I forget what, it was a long time ago, but I said something about like white genocide, and he said, it's really deeper than that. He said, because white genocide or replacement migration is a byproduct of low fertility rates, which is a byproduct of a lack of life force in our civilization. Of course, it's not an accident that all of this is happening, and it's not necessarily some sort of orchestrated plot. It's that we have just lost our mojo as a people. We've lost our energy, our life force. We're not having kids. Maybe me first and foremost, but we're not. But by and large, people can make it about me. I have my own issues and hangups and whatever, but by and large, as a society, it's not a generative, life-affirming society that is conducive to young people falling in love, getting married, having children. As a result, we're being replaced, and people don't even defend themselves. People won't even resist or defend their own civilization. And so, now don't get me wrong, it's not to say that this is not being imposed from the top down. It certainly is. But sometimes we ignore the other component, which is, maybe we need to be an energetic people. What else do we lack? Besides leadership that is looking out for us and patriotic, what else do we lack? Because what I see in these other populations that are invading is they have this will to power. They have this life-affirming drive that white people, it seems that we've sort of given up. So anyway, we kind of, in other words, you can't go and say, when is the immigration going to stop? When is the country going to get better? And then you're like an alcoholic smoking weed, and you're lazy, and you're just like doom scrolling all the time. You kind of need to become unstoppable. No, you don't need to ask for permission. You need to do what must be done. Take what's yours. That's kind of how life is, I think. Anyway, so I'm glad to hear that.
Ray Percroy sent $20. Niggas coming at you for the upside. Pedophile tickle mount German age of consent is 14. Most of Europe is 16. Are they all pedophiles too? We've been so feminized we can be convinced 17-year-olds are hot anymore, and even if Trump's
So
16-year-olds
true.
would just give him that and be like, nice, that's awesome.
So, yeah, honestly, first of all, everybody totally took that out of context. No charity either. I never get the benefit of the doubt. You take a 20-second clip, I say something you don't like, and people go, what the fuck, you took the pay. Fuck you. You know what I have to say? Like my president, fuck you. You're fired. Like, straight up, if you don't give me the benefit of the doubt, I've been doing this for a million years. I feel like this all the time. It's like we're always walking around on eggshells not to offend the dumbest idiots on the platform. Like Stu Peters. Stu Peters is in the replies. This is gross. Dude, you're a fucking stupid loser. How dare you? You took a break from crashing your ATV drunk, beating the shit out of your wife, scamming all your followers to go and what, call me gross because I said something you don't like? You don't even understand what I'm saying. You're not smart enough. So I'm done pandering to the dumbest idiots in the room. I'm done. Fuck you. I'm shaking you off. All of you dumbasses, I'm shaking you off. I said unpopular things 10 years ago when you were doing whatever you were doing, when you were hitting yourself in the face with a hammer. I'm saying unpopular stuff now. I've always said unpopular, heterodox stuff. I care about politics. You don't. For this is just the latest fad. You'll be onto some other thing in 3 years. So I don't need all that. But what I said and the point that I'm making about Epstein, people are getting caught up in the sensationalism of pedophile. And I said this last year when the story broke. I said the exact same thing. I said, yes, they are sex crimes. Obviously, it is human trafficking. Obviously, according to the law, it is statutory rape. But it is in the service of a blackmail ring for intelligence. It is important not to lose sight of that. And this is a category error. People say you're a pedo protector. But Trump is not protecting pedophiles because they're pedophiles. He's protecting sex criminals because they are a part of a subversive intelligence network. That's the point. And I said that in July, and I said that when there was more urgency for the files to be released in the fall. I said, let's not get too hung up on the sensational details of the actual sex crime, because this is not just about somebody was trafficking girls somewhere. That's not the story. The story is someone was trafficking girls to acquire blackmail to sell to Israel. That is the point, and that is what I said last night. I said, for someone to make it all about pedophilia, I said, it's kind of just like it's not really true, because again, it does get away from what's happening there. It is not satanic pedophilia cult stuff. It is really run-of-the-mill prostitution and sex trafficking, but for a international political purpose. And it's important not to lose sight of that. I saw Marjorie Greene say this is about female victims. It's actually not about female victims. It's about the integrity of our government. You understand the difference? It's not to say we're not sympathetic. It's not to say that it's not criminal. It's not to say that it's good. I'm not defending it. I'm saying this is not Dateline. This is not a human interest story. This is a layered crime. It's one crime in the furtherance of a much more politically significant crime. But all these dumbasses, I mean, they literally just don't have the IQ to understand that. For them, it's just about screeching about the same nonsense every day. They don't understand what they're talking about. They have no idea about anything.
Man.
They hear something they don't like. They say, oh, it's with Israel now. He got paid. I'm sorry. I've been doing this way longer than you. When did you come on the scene? When did you get red pilled? Last year? 10 minutes ago? When did you start talking about this stuff? Oh, now you're the expert and the gatekeeper. I'm done with that shit. I'm out. Seriously. You don't have to unfollow me because I'm out. This whole movement of Gen X idiots that are obsessed with satanic pedophile elite and psycho conspiracy kookery that doesn't even make sense, this Candace Owens bullshit, I'm out of all that. Seriously. I'm done with it. That is never what this movement was about. I started this movement at Boston University, and it was for right-wing American patriots that are against all foreign influence, whether from Israel, from mass immigration. I'm not some Gen X burnout that found a grift, which is bitching about Jews without even learning anything about the subject I'm talking about. And then the constant purity test with everybody. The constant purity. It doesn't matter what you say, how much you say it, what your positions are. If you disagree from the biggest idiots in the world about one thing for 1 second, oh, you're compromised. Oh, you're one of them now. Fuck you. And that's how it is. I will not placate the dumbest people in the world. And that's really what it is. It's the dumbest people in the world that Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens are playing to. Singing, preaching to the choir. The dumbest people in the world. They don't have a clue. They got into this a year ago because they saw shit on Facebook. They think they know everything. And again, it's like it doesn't matter what I say, what I do, my position on anything. They don't like what if it's not part of the JQ program. Oh, you're with them. You know what? I don't need to prove myself to you. I don't need to prove myself to Jackson Hinkle. I don't need to prove myself to Stu Peters. I don't need to prove myself to any of these people. So we'll see where they are in 5 years. We'll see how many of them are even in this space. I've been doing this for 10 years. When it was difficult, when it's easier, when it's difficult again, let's see where you are in 5 years. Because my money is on 80% of these people are going to repudiate everything within 24 months. Mark my words. 80% of all these people that are hopped up and whipped up on the JQ, 80% of them, within 24 months to 5 years, they will have totally repudiated all of it. They will be on to the next thing, because that's really what it is. It has become a fad, and we have to survive this. At one time, it was a niche community of people that were super interested in this stuff and had the kind of intellectual courage and fortitude to go there with some antisocial freaks. And now it's become a fad, and it's attracted a lot of low-information voters. It's attracted a lot of dummies who are just willing to believe in any conspiracy. And that's why they believe in every conspiracy. They believe in flat Earth. They believe in directed energy weapons. They believe that Charlie Kirk was going to break the space-time continuum. They believe, all this crazy stuff. And if you're not on board with this kind of like left-wing, third-worldist ideology, you're with the enemy. was saying it the other day. For many years, you were an Israel critic if you said they're not our closest ally, it's a Jewish country, Judaism is infiltrating our country, blah, blah. Now it's like if you are not against the war in Venezuela because you're some kind of third worldist, now you're an Israel shill. I'm sorry, what does kidnapping Maduro have to do with shilling for Israel? Or invading Greenland, or supporting ICE, or any of that stuff? It's just becoming so stupid, and I'm not going to play to that. It would be so much easier for me to just pander to the dummies, like Tucker does, and just talk about demons every night, and, lose my cool about pedophile protect. It would be so easy to pander to you dummies. So easy. It'd be the easiest thing in the world to take your money. But I literally will not do the indignity. I won't suffer the indignity of being forced to pander to people that are complete morons. They probably couldn't find Venezuela on a map. They're going to tell me what to think about it. They're going to tell me what to think about it. I've been studying this issue for 10 years. I don't think so. So anyway. Yeah, and that whole thing is just insane.
Newbrower 99 cent $100. Nick, did you see Joe Rogan go total cook about ICE, saying they shouldn't be snatching people up, some American citizens, comparing them to the Gestapo?
I did see that. Thank you for the big super chat. And I told you that would happen in 2024. I told you this new coalition of barstool conservatives and podcast bros, they're not down for it. Because they're not really right-wing. Guys like Joe Rogan are center-left, basically. They're like civil libertarians, like socially liberal. So in 2024, everybody was all jazzed up saying, oh, Trump has this huge coalition, like the energy has shifted, woke is dead, blah, blah. And I said, watch, in 2025, none of these people are going to be down for it. The tech bros, the podcast bros, none of the bros are going to be down for mass deportations. I said, because it's going to be a repeat of 2018. Trump is going to bring down the hammer on the immigrants. The media is going to play wall-to-wall coverage of these atrocities. I said, and none of these people are going to stand by it. They're all going to say, we got to take it easy, this is inhumane. Because at the end of the day, the tech bros and the podcast bros are not like immigration restrictionists. They're not nativist. They're against the criminal illegal aliens. They're against the drug dealers and the gangbangers. They don't care about the illegals that are here working. They don't care that our country is becoming non-white. Like, they don't really care. That's not their ideology. That's not their worldview. And so these people were conscripted into the fight with Trump. And I said, you got to be careful. Don't get me wrong, take their support, but understand you're going to have a much lower ceiling of support when you actually do these things. Yes, in 2024, you can be everything to everybody. And everybody can think they're going to get exactly what they want. But in 2025 and 6, when the rubber meets the road, you're going to lose a lot of these people, and you got to be willing to push through anyway. So that is a very bad bellwether. Because if Joe Rogan and Tim Dillon and Theo Vaughn are expressing reluctance or skepticism or doubt about mass deportations, that's a barometer. That shows you where the middle is. That's where the moderates are. That's where maybe a lot of the Gen Z people are. And, and I don't know that Trump is going to push through if he becomes too unpopular. If this escalates and intensifies, which it needs to, they're going to get more negative coverage. People are going to get more outspoken against it. It will become more unpopular. And then that is the moment of truth. Is Trump going to put up or shut up? Is Trump going to put up or is he going to shut up? That's the question. So, yeah, I saw that. It doesn't surprise me at all. I predicted that exactly in 2024.
Hansel Bravo 27 cent $20. I really like your hairstyle, not that it's straight or anything.
Very good.
Macattack 0331 sent $20. Keep up the great work, Nick. I look forward to the show every night.
Thank you.
Narlord sent $20. Whether people like you or not, it's hard to name many Americans in the last decade who've driven serious numbers toward Catholicism the way you have. Father Mike Schmitz is the only clear parallel IMO.
I hope so. I hope I've driven people to Catholicism. It'd be the only real, redeeming thing on Judgment Day. But I love to hear that. I'm glad you
Go Birds sent $20. Fuck the Bears. Your quarterback paints his nails like a fag. Fly Eagles, fly Go Birds, dickhead.
That's just called Caleb Williams.
Keep Yang sent $25. The problem with some of these white ass niggas is that they don't be going hard as fuck enough.
Yeah, true. They're not going hard.
Roy Pat sent $100.
Whoa, thank you for the big super chat. No message?
I have Burley sent $25.
Beautiful.
Nick, can you please make America first beanies? Red Heart.
You asked me that already.
Rowan sent $20. Takashi has you with 10% odds to meet with President Trump in 2026. Show with
Ooh.
$96,057.43. My life savings. I'll know and come up on a quick 10K. And if you do possibly meet Trump, could you DM on X beforehand so I can cash out? Thanks.
Imagine if I did. I think that's off the table after everything I've said about him, but you never know.
Never
say never.
I've been keeping an eye on you since you started. I like what you're doing, bro. I'm only 32, but I'm happy to see younger men knowing the truth that I've known since I was like 10. Thanks to 4chan Lol.
Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
X sent $25. Reminder, disinfo agents on X rely on the fact normies are stupid animals with no ability to discern information, so when you see propagandists pushing the narrative that Nick endorses pedophilia, it's fake and designed to prey on your retard normie brain so you are deterred from watching the show. Resist the deception.
Let it push him out. Shake him off. We don't need him.
Flotho sent $20. I love you, Nick. Jordan Peterson reminds me of the writer character from A Clockwork Orange. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I actually never saw Clockwork Orange. That's one of the big ones I never saw. So, no, I don't.
Do not rape Sneeko sent $20. People criticize you for being friends with minorities, and meanwhile, the white friends are backstabbing you and losing IR elections and limb-picking Sap Hernandez and doing fentanyl and getting spit on by homeless niggas.
All true. All true. Very true. Yeah, honestly, I hate to say it. Oh, you're not going to like this. I hate to say it, but if anything, my experience in the world and in life is that there really is no race loyalty. There's no loyalty between people. The only people that are going to be loyal to you are your real friends. Some of them are going to be from a different group. I'm still in favor of tribalism. I still think that's relevant and salient, but it is so true. The number of white people that I've known that have totally stabbed me in the back versus non-white people that have had my back through thick and thin, it's crazy. I think about a lot of people that excuse me, I keep hiccuping and burping. I think about a lot of these non-white people. They don't even agree with me. And yet they are better friends by far than so many white people that I considered like best friends. And, you know, maybe it's a mistake to read too much into that, but it is funny. You know. So, at the end of the day, you know what you find is that people are just people. Human nature applies to us all. And some people have good character, some have bad character. You can't predict it. There are a lot of non-white people that have good character. Plenty of them. And there's a lot of white people that have good character. And you encounter all kinds of people throughout your life. That's why I try to be individualistic in my life. Individualist in my life. I have no problem, as you know, being friends with non-white people, hanging out with non-white people. I treat them like I would anybody else, even though I'm the white supremacist, blah, blah, whatever. On a civilizational scale, it's different, obviously. All the difference in the world between, like, being nice to somebody who's not from your clan versus you let their clan kill your clan and take over your territory. Like, it's a totally different story, but it's like anything. You find in life that some people have character and some people don't. And you, like I said, you really can't predict it. I don't even think it's a race thing. And there's a lot of people that have just been really shitty. There's so few people anymore that have any kind of integrity or even trying to have integrity. So many people I know are just liars and talk shit about me behind my back and, betray me in one way or another. It's crazy.
That one November 19th sent $25. Hey Nick, yesterday I asked if you would be at the primaries and you said yes. I wanted to add to that question. Have you made a schedule for when and where you will be at during the primary?
Oh my gosh.
Rex sent $20. You're right about the anti-Semitic bubble we're in. Seen so many clips with comments saying the classic controlled opposition and traitor BS the moment you have a realistic view. And you still. Chikong Chang sent $20. The founding fathers met at a bar, by the way. The founding fathers were 8 years deep when they were writing down the founding principles of American exceptionalism and Western civilization, and you can print because why? AF will not ascend until you get shit-faced. Don't disappoint them. Drink tonight. Shimo 2 sent $20. Do the ops love to hate you or hate that they love you?
They hate that they love
Noisy 95 sent $20. Has America benefited at all from the wars in the Middle East, or it's all just for Israel? Also wondering if America has created this incredible military, does it naturally have to be flexed somewhere? Rich Ringo sent $21. Did you see Brandon Johnson's get of SpongeBob socks and Becky Dunks at the PBC meeting today? He is a deeply unserious guy.
No, I didn't. But yeah.
Chris Sykes $50. A little something for the Chicago Bears steak yesterday. This is why we tune in.
Let's go.
Chicago Viper sent $50. Facts about Chicago. More than 1.5 million whites have left the state since 1960. Whites were 90+% of Illinois population in 1960. Today, the 7.3 million whites are up to 58% of the population. The black population has also declined since the year 2000. It's declined by about 200,000 black people. Mexicans ruined Chicago and surrounding areas.
That's not true at all. Blacks ruined Chicago.
Monkey Lore 696 cent $20. We got Nick talking about football in 2026. Crazy too bad they're going to be begging for mercy by the Rams this weekend. Patriots Super Bowl champs. Love the beard by the way, looking cute. Should grow out more. Sam said $20. Subtle shots at GIFs yesterday. People who are dressed up as the Joker. Your take on women smoking weed was so true and made me laugh 30 feet up in the air on a scissor lift.
Honestly, that wasn't a shot at him. That's a shot at anybody that does that. Honest to God, I did not think of him when I said that. If I did, I would say it. But I think back to 2019 when the Joker movie came out, and every one of you fags was dressing up as the Joker for Halloween. You couldn't wait to do it. I remember it. I was there. I was there when it came out. And I remember every right-wing chud could not wait, because the movie came out on like October 4th, I think. And every stupid chud from the internet, they were chomping at the bit for Halloween to arrive so that they could dress up like the Joker and do the dance and take a video and post it on TikTok or Twitter like a faggot. I remember it very well. And, yeah, we just got to grow up, okay? No more dress up, no more make-believe. Like, people just got to get deadly serious about what we're involved in. So, honestly, it was not, I didn't intend for it to be, I didn't even think of it that way, a shot at Gypsy Crusader. I gave this take a little while ago. I said, right-wing chuds love costumes. They love playing dress-up. They get, like, hard. They get a hard-on to dress up. And I know that because I remember in October of 2019, all of you people did it. You know, and I don't know. I mean, I could probably go through and name some names, but, like, that was the move. Everybody couldn't wait to do their version of it. Everyone couldn't wait to do their take on it. Everybody flew out to New York to take a picture by the Joker stairs in the Bronx. And I remember thinking, like, seriously? Really, guys? This is really dumb. And they still do it. They still do it. They dress up like Patrick Bateman. They dress up like the Joker. They dress up like a Nazi. They dress up like whatever. They love to do it. We got to move past the dress up.
Roy Pin gave sent $30. Oh, 7 for Christine in Ohio. Roy for moms with cancer. Send the army new. Anyway, here's a part of my weight because your show makes me feel like I belong to something bigger than myself. So happy to have you back.
Hey,
Also,
thank you.
Mirror.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm very conflicted about it. I miss my baby face. It makes me look older and shittier. When I have a clean-shaven face, I feel young and handsome. When I have a beard, I feel like an old creep. I don't know. We'll see. But I appreciate it.
Long and Feigning Truth sent $20. They can even investigate illegal scamming millions of dollars without half the white population protesting and fighting it. The resurgence of white heritage America is a gross pipe dream.
That's not really
Triple
true.
Acetate Slam sent $100. Hey,
Thank you for the big super chat. I appreciate it.
Sent $20. Nigga. Thanks for all your hard work. Celebratory gesture emoji. Hey, my kid finally sent me an AF clip and it made me so proud.
Huh.
It was about blaming bad grades on a teacher being spiritually Jewish. Hand over mouth emoji. I'm homeschooling you though.
Very good. Well, thank you. Wow, it's a Groiper family. The family is groiped up. Well, good for you. Love to hear it. Thank you.
Cinnamon is awesome sent $20. One of two. Dems don't get it by bagging political standings. We choose representation for our voice. When someone chosen as mod, they use our voice to bag what they want to get out of the position. Cinnamon is awesome sent $20. Two of two Dems think choosing the field of options will create feel good times, which will create more weak men, and they refuse to recognize how much work it takes to mega. If this is known but still. Tom from SC sent $20. Your recent Venezuela monologue made me question my initial resistance. Your ability to structure arguments on complex issues with clarity is very important to the fight for truth. Respect and Godspeed.
Glad to hear it. Yeah, I mean, look. People always say, like, oh, you're flip-flopping, and I always have a consistent position. And then they act like it's some inexplicable take. I don't understand why you're saying this. And then I lay out precisely why I think the way I do, and then people don't watch the show. They just don't pay attention. They go, oh, okay. So it's nuts. That's just the mass, though.
Everything you see on Western media regarding Iran is fake. We all know who is responsible for it, and somehow again, they will get the U.S. to bomb Iran. Moreover, the people who supported the genocide in Gaza are now deeply concerned that Iran might have broken international law. To those people, F you and the star you carry. Mary 1 FC 84 sent $20. Watch Tucker's video on Russia today. It's clear that he is a third worlder. He pushes this derangement into the right wing. He said we hate Russia because they are the way. This is our battle.
Yeah, he's really sus.
Sent $20. Hello, Nicholas J. Fuentes. Esoteric hit Mercenarian maxing 9 intergalactic emperor. Sub 6 for sub 767. Lord Guardian sent $25. GA increased by 1 tonight. My recruit is ready to raise his right hand to be sworn in by the top Nika. Hand emoji.
Okay, no lark
Huckleberry C9 sent $20. I'm going to make Hitler look like a saint after I save our people. Thank you. Will Rizzi sent $20. If you were a modern day Blondie Impaler, who would you target? America First Bitch sent $50. Nick, I support you fully and believe in your vision. I just need a bit more clarity on your reps 9 last night. I feel like I'm missing something.
You will get nothing.
Irish Sitter sent $50. How are you always so vindicated?
Damn it!
With heritage and Sumerian technology from Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, I'm a time traveler too. I love this. Like, I need to know. You know, look, I don't answer to you. I love that. Like, I gotta prove something to you. You take the take. If you don't like it, then leave. You know. I need a bit more clarity, or else what? If you are not comfortable with thinking freely, this is not the show for you. If you're not comfortable with entertaining an idea that you might not agree with, this is not for you. This is not a show where I go live and reinforce an ideology every day. It's not a show where I go and reinforce all of your opinions and I, affirm a very one-dimensional line of thinking. This is a show where we use our heads, we think freely, heterodox thoughts, and that's actually on a deeper level what we're doing than even the substance of it. It's an exercise in free thinking. And if you can't handle that, if you need clarity, I don't know how I feel about that, it makes me feel bad. Well, you should sit and think about it, and if you don't like it, then, you can go and fuck off.
Midnight Squirrel sent $500. This guy Nick is pretty smart.
Yo, thank you for another huge super chat. I really appreciate it, man. God bless. 07's in the chat for Midnight Squirrel. I appreciate all the support.
Liquid sent $20. I like the beard. It gives you a new word, but you look sexier, younger, and sharper with a clean shave.
I think you're right. I tend to agree.
Red Wolf sent $20. You have a solid beard, but don't let these barbarian lovers fool you. The clean-shaven Roman was the ideal of manliness, exemplifying military discipline and civility. Remember who you were and leave the beards to the chinless sub-5. For example, JD.
My goodness. The clean-shaven Roman was a... How are you people real? Like, how do you people actually type that out and hit send? The clean-shaven Roman was the ideal of manliness. Goodness gracious.
Midnight Squirrel sent $100. Jimmy Garay is a piece of trash.
I won't go that far, but it's total bullshit. I appreciate the big super chat, though.
Imperial Socialist sent $25. Hakan Hassanabi supporting the Iran protests. The America First movement,
Classic.
led by you, is the only true opposition to Israel.
Always. As always.
Farden Olive on Netanyahu sent $30. Your quarterback, Caleb Williams, is a little wink. Matthew Stafford is Wag of the Year and Puka is Anti-Semite of the Year.
Total Packer death, dude. Get graded. Get fucking cheese graded, bitch. You're nothing.
Notafit sent $20. Charlie Kirk was killed by the transdimensional fairies. Get with the program and wake up.
No. He was talking to transdimensional fairies. He was killed by demons. He was killed by aliens that are actually demons in disguise.
Emily Adamson sent $20. Much love to the realest Nick on the interweb. God bless you, be safe, and keep the bear.
Thank you.
$50. 24-year-old tradesman in Milwaukee suburbs with 2 Democrat parents. Haven't voted since 2020 because I trust Nick's judgment.
Well, thanks. Milwaukee burbs, huh? Real working class. Love it. Love to hear it. Milwaukee's a great city. I love Wisconsin. Wisconsin is like a hidden gem. We can't tell anybody about it. We cannot tell anybody that Wisconsin is like the hidden gem in America.
Sheboygan, Wisconsin.
Fat P3G4N sent $20. Mods to your job.
I'm not
Monster
even
Rider
watching.
sent $20. Look or genuinely. He'll be testifying from purgatory.
Yeah.
Woke Signal sent $25. Beard works. Adds grit and strength. Perfect balance between scruffy and groomed. Too groomed has the opposite effect, like how Ben Shapiro somehow looks even more feminine when he's scruffy. This fool looks like a low-D Homer Simpson when he tries to grow scruff. Ben with a mustache looks like a step trying too hard.
I think you're doing too
Tree of a
much.
bunch.
It's not that deep.
The author is nothing without the reader. The reader is nothing without the text. The text is a ghost until it is written, and dead until it is read. Thoughts on this quote?
Very interesting.
Lucha Dad sent $20. Former shift turned franchise GM. I'm fat, old, and low IQ from years of substances to help I Chungus Disney Plus ads, so to help I try to red pill my HS and college age staff that's worked on some no homo.
Former chef turned franchise general manager on fat, old, low IQ. Some stuff. No, you sound great. Stop it. Don't talk about yourself like that. You sound awesome. Franchise general manager, good for you. God bless you. Fat, old, low IQ. You don't sound low IQ. At least you have some humility, some self-awareness. You sound relatable. You sound like a good guy. Chungus, Disney Plus dad, red pill in high school, college staff. No, you're doing your part. Just be careful. Just be careful. You don't want to get in any trouble, but God bless you. You sound like a real American. Good for you.
Ancient Collier sent $25. Hi, Nick. Check out my Nature Cure way of treating a fever and African method on YouTube.
Goodness gracious. What's the cure? Is it like doing yoga? Like,
Roy Burgardian sent
I don't know,
$20.
man.
Democrat narrative is she was peaceful.
The alternative health stuff, I'm just not into it at all. I don't, I'm just like against it completely. See, I like small business owners. People say I hate the working class. I like the working class. What I hate is like the service class. The service class is irredeemable, you know. And it's not all of them, but it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them, like these Indian call centers, and these Indians that run some of the hotels and the gas stations, and honestly, it's a lot of Indians. It's these like people that do not give a fuck. People that stock the shelves, cashiers, customer service. These people are really, a lot of them are really rough. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Tradesmen, small business owners, these are my people. I like these people.
Roy Guardian sent $20. Democrat narrative is she was peacefully trying to leave. If that's really the case, is she just going to abandon her lesbian wife filming the interaction agitating federal officers at the scene? She was absolutely trying to hit an officer, and she did.
Doesn't even
Kate
matter.
Grenade sent $69. Niggas in Christ's land. Funding up every neocon's treacherous endeavors to sell out to Israel.
Interesting.
Moist Weeby sent $50.
Oh, the acronym's Nick Fuentes. Nice. Very
Moist
good.
Weeby sent $50.
Maybe that'll catch on.
Wishly Motivated sent $20. Bro took her 2-week break and came back mogging.
I told you, we're ascending
Greatest
this year.
Steve sent $25. The ICE agent saying stupid bitch after shooting her feels the exact same as clavicula's. Is he dead for some? Absolute chat.
So awesome. That's the best part. That's the cherry on top. Mag dumps her face. Stupid bitch. She is a stupid bitch. Absolutely, all day.
Dr. MC Smangus sent $20. With regards to last night's stream about Iran, why are Russia, China not doing more to safeguard, bolster Iran against Israel and the USA? If the regime falls, they have no more leverage in the region. Science by no means fond of Netanyahu. Why not make Iran a more direct projection of influence to disrupt U.S. hegemony? Thanks.
There's nothing they can do. There's nothing they can do. Russia and China can do nothing for Iran, just like they could do nothing for Syria. They do not have the ability to project power. On that scale, they are not the United States. So, look, Russia and China have done their part. Russia has provided these countries with their most advanced anti-aircraft systems, and they provided them with credit, with cash for oil, and they built up their drone industry. And, Russia and China have been strategic partners of Iran. But they can do nothing in the face of the United States. Nothing they can do. They cannot project power into that region. So I think it's just a myth that they could stand up to us. And to the extent that maybe you're thinking that, well, they'll threaten the United States. They don't want to fight the United States, and they don't want to fight the United States on behalf of Iran. So that's why.
Bob Smith sent $20. The problem with the Christian nationalist movement is not the ideas in themselves, which are good, but the fact that so much of it either originates from or has been captured by the defense tech interests, New Founding, Claremont, and they see J.D. Vance as their Christian prince, as William Wolf and Andrew Whisker do.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are captured by the Straussians.
Colonialism Mossad agent sent $20. I came across an old Instagram comment from 2017 the other day of someone being pissed that you wore a MAGA hat and waved an American flag at BU after Trump won in 2016, even though almost everyone was upset. Pretty funny, lol.
See, people say, where did this kid come from? You could go back all the way.
Ryan sent $20. My dad linked me one of your streams a year ago. I've been a growing fan ever since. Thank you for your hard work.
Hey, let's go. Thank you very much.
67 sent $20. If we put these lesbians and African Americans in jail to live in paradise, it's that simple. Stars.
It's that simple. So true, dude. So true. We see this woman, and it's like, we all know what she's about. She's like some big, fat-headed, pig, lesbian, leftist piece of shit, who's probably super active on Facebook, and is in the community and all that, and, they are the enemy of the country, straight up. Now, that doesn't mean, look, I'm not advocating for violence against them. I don't want people to go out killing them, but at a certain point, you have to recognize that as a political force, they are hurting our country. We can't take their side. We have to take our own side against them. So if one of these idiots it's not like it was some big misunderstanding. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she came for. She got exactly what she was looking for. She got her confrontation with ICE. Too bad, so sad, it didn't work out. I'm not advocating for violence. I don't think that's the answer. But we can't let these people stand in the way and just... There's no rules, so we're just going to hit ICE with the car now?
Joey Allen 904 sent $20. What advice would you give to your 18-year-old self?
I don't know, dude. What I tell my 18-year-old self? Probably stay in school. I wish I completed my college education. I wish I took school more seriously. Because I would have liked to have had a diploma. And I have to say, when I was an adolescent, I was a hothead. I had this horrible temper. I still do, but I don't get mad as much. When I was an adolescent, I used to lose my mind constantly. Very short fuse, very bad temper. And but that doesn't really change until you get older. Now, I really noticed it when I turned like 25 that I started to mellow out and started to become capable of restraining myself a little bit. I maybe tell myself to calm down a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, what I did worked. I mean, I sort of achieved everything I wanted to achieve. I kind of won, you know. I made enemies with everybody, defeated them all, became super successful in what I did, made lots of money, met all my heroes. They all love me. So I don't know. I mean, there's not really a ton that I would say other, you know, and I worked hard, but I also enjoyed life. Not like I'm eulogizing myself, but, you know, when I was a younger guy, I really took a lot of time to do the things that I love to do, which is not a lot, but like play video games, drive around in my car, spend time with my family, whatever. So I spent time with friends, play video games, but I also worked really hard as well. So I don't know. I think I don't really have a ton of advice to give myself when I was younger. I'd have to think about it, though. It's kind of a personal question.
Welcome back, bro. Got back in the gym. Anyway, Asian fella here. Gonna have to purify my bloodline with a rice bunny because the whites around me act up. Also, when I have children, can I just drop them off to you to babysit? God asked because retards ask you how to raise their children. God bless America first.
Interesting super chat. Well, yeah, I can't endorse the rice bunny thing. Why don't you just stick with your own
I
kind?
wish I was more white, sent $20. Is it worth trying to save America when even half or more of the whites won't even take our own side or try to start our own pollen somehow? How long do you think it will take to change the culture?
You're thinking about it all wrong. It's not about a specific victory condition, like we're going to save America. The world is always evolving and reorganizing itself, and our goal is just to increase our position. That's what you're playing for always. People die all the time. Fortunes change. Things that are unpredictable happen. You know, people say, are we going to win? Like, what's our end game? What is it? And it's like, there's no definitive end date where we, like, save America. It's just about looking out for the interest of ourselves, our people, our children, and having a better position than we did before. Having more power, more influence, more prosperity, better able to secure our own benefit.
One who once sent $20. I meant troll too. Tell your little friends howling about Renega that you're just glad they have more sense than she did.
Yeah.
Ray Olive Wang sent $20. Too many of these retards have watched one battle after another and think blue resistance will overdo ice. Sorry, but this is real life and we're gonna shoot you in the face if you act retarded. Arthur Priest sent $25. Too bad that 6-year-old kid moms didn't prioritize him over their resistance higher law.
Yep.
I'm always reminded of a liberal/conservative heat map. Hope a responsible uncle takes him in.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to cry about the kid now. Why wasn't she home with the kid then? Because she had to go and fight on behalf of Somalians. Couldn't even look after her own kid.
Lou Dooley sent $100. Royper from Oklahoma. Barely caught the show in time. I lost track of time gorging myself on barbecue and syrup with my horse and cowboy hats. Fuck off. Christ is king. Keep it up. It's the great ascension.
Thank you for the big super chat.
Problem solved sent $20. If a citizen gets caught hiding an illegal during the 20,000 troop city raid, do they get deported too? What should be their punishment?
They should get deported too, right?
Kicking H4RD sent $50. Hey Nick, I recently asked Dean Withers when he's going to invariant babies with you and he said I'm a sad basement dweller and my mom hates me. Can you call him gay for me? Clinton Gill List sent $25. A rich entitled Jew got me fired at work because it was mildly inconvenienced. I was there for years with zero issues. I'm pissed. Thanks for the shows you do. Brightens my day. Always funny as fuck and informative.
Sorry to hear that.
Supreme Leader Fuentes sent $20. How are you? Your reaction last night was very cute. I am a girl. I'm just honest. It's true that I watch your show because you're handsome. That is a fact, King. Stay safe this year.
Wow, thank you very much. I really appreciate
Why do
it.
you think Benjamin Netanyahu said he wants to taper off military aid?
Floyd.
Do you think he's serious? And I saw a report saying Trump's opposing that.
We've talked about this a million times. They view the foreign aid as golden handcuffs. They don't want to be dependent on the United States because they want to execute an independent foreign policy.
26 sent $100. 100 first airborne to MN. Only way.
Thank you for the big super chat. So
Base
true.
sent $20. Thoughts on Richard Spencer holding the opposite view of you and thinking leftists have a better grasp of Christianity and being an unabashed liberal?
I think he's sort of influenced. I'll just put it that way.
Veteran of Israeli.
But there's some truth to that. There's some truth to this. When he says that, like, the essence of Christianity is not J.D. Vance, he's totally right about that. I mean, there's some truth to this.
Veteran of Israeli War sent $20. Out of the military now, but saw combat in Iraq and Syria. You've articulated what I'm trying to with my fellow soldiers far better than I ever could. Our young men should be serving us only.
True.
NY Ashley sent $75. Also, these lunatics are emboldened by their mayors/governors telling them to block ICE. They feel morally obligated to antagonize and escalate. Wells, Tanju. Brandon Johnson. They're making ICE agents targets and calling the violence resistance.
Very true.
Average John 93 cent $100. Hypothetical. American left-wing straight trade for Canadian right-wing.
Thank you for the big super chat. I don't know what that
Gilbert
means.
says $3. Even using overwhelming force with ICE, these liberal leftist mayors and people who represent that city are just going to encourage more citizens to impede on law enforcement, and soon enough real civil war starts. You can't throw everyone in jail, including mayors, without a real war. How far can you really take it?
Yeah, you can, because they will go away. We'd have to take it further than them. That's the answer. How far could you really take it? You have to take it further than them by an inch. You have to be willing to do it, and you have to be in control over the escalation. That's what
No,
it
it
is.
$20. Need the Insurrection Act. They aren't going hard enough. Free America.
True.
Boy, first move said $20. I live for First Lives. Free Bob X Hansen Squidward in honor of 40 years of friendship. And JFS Sneeko. And there's something that absence makes the heart grow fonder. Because you have never lived better. Truly.
Thanks.
JCNF said $20.
What's going on?
I'm glad you got the hats. No. I've been to Texas Roadhouse. You know, the rolls are good. Those, like, rolls they have with the cinnamon butter, that's good. But other than that, it's another bullshit fast casual chain. Just go to a real steakhouse. I see all these TikToks and posts, people eating at Applebee's and Chili's and Texas Roadhouse. I mean, I guess if you live in the middle of nowhere, and there are literally no restaurants, it's an oasis. But if you're in a real city with real food, just go to a real restaurant. I don't understand why people go to Applebee's. Just go to a real restaurant. What is the point? You might as well just, like, eat a frozen pizza at that point. Then go out and eat that trash.
Show Dark 95 cents $75. I am so happy you were back. I didn't realize how much I looked forward to your show until you were gone. I think the beard makes you look very dignified. You should keep it. We need to never confuse the newcomers by being lenient to the left. These anti-American liberal loons are our enemy. Point blank. No excuses. Oh yay. Also, Christ is king.
So true.
Who baby 8 cent $50. How many of these Somalian have you seen thanking a stone white bitch for her sacrifice? Tells me all I need to know.
Very true. Well said.
Really, it's at $20. There is benefits to striking Iran. It'll fuck up the fat fuck punch face chances in 28. And how you said
That's true.
Liberals also won't acknowledge the rap sheet Renee could head either, including child abuse / neglect. These people 100% need to be defeated. There's no reasoning with them. It's
I think that's fake. I think that was just like fake news.
It's been 59 cents $100. It's crazy that so many of these people who were against illegals during the election are now crying that ICE is creating a police state. How do these retards expect them to deport people?
True. Thank you for the big super chat. They didn't know what that meant or what it entailed. They're not serious.
That's $25. The great Jordan Peterson once said you should focus on cleaning your room before going out to change the world.
Wow, that's really true.
All sent $20. Congratulations, Nicholas. Could you please give some encouragement to our ICE agents that even though there are all these protests, there are way more people who are backing them in their work?
Doing it all the time.
JD sent $20. What's up, since most people saying Israel is Holy Land are the same that won't say the people in it are desecrating the Holy Land? Jesus love you. Stay safe.
That's true.
47 cent $20. Hey, NIG guy, remember the Chinese spy balloons from a few years back? Those were actually mine. We should all send balloons to Minnesota. They can't stop all of us. I saw them at Plantrico. Go grab lunch, big boys, at $30. Can we talk about that one clip of a lady chasing down ICE in an EV Mustang with her kid in the car, then having a meltdown when ICE pulls her over? Why are women acting like this is a BBP zone?
That's
Alana
crazy.
14 cent $20. Had a fucked up dream the other day that got Nick after Charlie. It was pure sadness and grief after Charlie. After Nick, it was just pure anger and hate and need for revenge. Stay safe, bro. Love you.
Okay, well, stop dreaming about me, please.
Lander sent $25. Interesting how you're so adamant about convincing us Sumerian technology isn't real. And then you're the one who just happened to predict Israel attacking Iran? Okay, Nick.
I have access to it. That's the part I didn't mention. I'm an alien, too.
Trump is interviewing BlackRock CIO for Fed Reserve Chair. How would he be any better than Jerome Powell?
Well, he's not going to be better, but that's just, Trump wants someone who's going to do his bidding. You know, when Trump says lower interest rates, he wants someone that's going to lower the interest rates. So, what are you talking about? How is he going to be any better? It's like, why? Who said he was going to be better? Nobody.
Siago I for 19.99 cent $20. Don't forget to get your bone smashing in, bro.
True.
FAFE3G4N sent $20. Values and morals. 777 Patton sent $20. The same people complaining about your take on Epstein are the same ones who were just trying to convince us pedophilia was a sexual preference.
True.
Scottish Boy sent $20. Yesterday I asked about your potential gold sponsorship. What happened? Is it no longer available or just not something you want to
It's just not really something I'm keeping everybody updated on. You fucking dumbass.
XCC.277 sent $20. Hey Nick, started watching a year ago. Showed my mom some of your clips and now she's a daily viewer. For my birthday she even bought me George Washington by Henry Cabot Lodge because you mentioned it.
Oh, well, that's very thoughtful. God bless. I love that. That's very wholesome. So I love. We love the moms. We love the moms. We love the wholesome moms.
Slade sent $25. Thoughts and concerns with the state's U.S. power grid going out nationwide. Being built in the 70s and owned by private corporations.
Yeah, we should secure
Christian
the
sent
power.
$20. Nick, if I ever see you in South Carolina, I will put bullet holes in you.
Yeah, try it,
Bill
bitch.
81 sent $20. Great show tonight, Nick. I attended Mass for the first time recently. My brother is Catholic and I'm considering joining the church. Really appreciate your show.
Good. Love to hear it. God bless.
Sue Yates sent $20. Here in Germany, there is barely anyone trying to rescue it. And the ones that act like they are Israeli shills. I can't help Germany while being inside Germany. Zephaniah00 sent $20. Protester got shot tonight, reported about 30 minutes ago.
Based.
Carl Weezer 67 sent $20. Keep the beard. My mom said you look handsome.
Oh, let's go.
Vagina Rock sent $25. Nick, did you see the new Amazing Lucas video about you on it? It is so great. Maybe you need an exorcism. At least repent.
I don't know anybody that watches that trash.
For girls sent $20. Nick, don't shave your beard.
Fucking
You look so hot.
bitch.
The beard, the suit, and the intellect makes me forget about your height. Love you. R.I.P. Christine. Portuguese Rover sent $21. Hey Nick, love the show, man. I have a family. What do you recommend I feed them? How many times a day do you recommend that? JCNF sent $20. Hey Nick, much love from Northern Ireland. What do you think of John Kiriakou and his leaks? The Dark Goy sent $30. Epstein victims like Virginia Giuffre and Annie Farmer testified they were minors, described grooming and being trafficked. Under U.S. law, sexual exploitation involving minors meets the definition of pedophilic abuse. So which part of that testimony do you dispute?
Well, under U.S. law, blah, blah. You didn't understand what I said yesterday. You're a fucking
Kurt
idiot.
2002 sent $20. Thoughts on Russia's threat against UK/Germany?
It's not about the law. You're totally missing the point. Well, technically, it's against the law. You're totally missing the point. I didn't say that what they did was not against the law, you fucking stupid idiot. I said the point of Epstein
Fuck.
is not that he said, well, whatever, we already did it. We already talked about it an hour ago.
I'm fine with sent $100. Thank you for pointing out the Zionist propaganda happening right now.
Thank you for the
Anna
big super
33
chat.
sent $20. You are more attractive than Clive in my opinion. Cuter and funnier, but you like empathy. You get evil genius. You are most cute when you laugh and smile. Do you believe in aliens?
No. Shut up. I'm not hotter than Clav. Are you kidding me? That's just some Floyd nonsense.
MN 95 sent $20. 30 M is MN cooked. My fam came over 150 years ago. Natives and blacks from Chicago is one thing, but the new Somali allegiance is another thing. Will white families survive?
Oh
Should
my
I move
gosh,
to
what is
First
wrong
sent
with you
$20.
people?
You say there is a reason why we don't touch Kim Jong-un or Russia or China. Because of nuclear deterrence. But multiple countries have retaliated Israel. Is no one afraid of their nukes? Or is it different because they're not in the NPT and they want to keep them hidden? We've also fucked around with Pakistan before.
Okay.
Josh 224 sent $50. I'm a trucker working the night shift. Your streams are the highlight of my shifts. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thanks a lot.
Social Observer sent $20. Generational run going in reverse, homie. Nudity 12 sent $100. How important are handshakes to you? I think they tell a lot about a person when meeting for the first time. Your big hand with rice bucket strength training could mug even Trump's hand. Not gay. Beachy sent $20. Will you be in Ohio this year? God of Conquest 91 sent $20. Did you see that pic of Ashley St. Clair tied to a tree to simulate being burned as a witch? These voids are getting crazier. No e-girls will forever be true.
The Ashley St. Clair stuff is crazy. What is that even now? She's pro-trans? What's
Prince sent
that?
$40. It's not right versus left, black versus white, and it's certainly not Christian versus Muslim. Jewish supremacy is the real problem. Our government is compromised.
Okay, you're an idiot.
Beastie Gabe sent $20. It's crazy how entitled foreigners feel to be in America. But I'm Christian. I'm based. Okay. So go home and fight the gold fight there. Take care, Nick. JD Trans sent $20. Did you see that Raising Cane's added a new combo? Amazing Raw Amber sent $20. I fully agree on your take on schizo conspiratorial faggots, but the earth is actually flat. Because God said so. One of the few one I believe in. BRTRRS sent $20. Looks like Bannon might run at 28. Do you think he could win? I think he would be a lot better than Vance.
Okay. Great, amazing questions, guys. Really awesome stuff. Okay, that's our last super chat. That's going to do it for me. My gosh, dude. It's just like, get a clue. Get a fucking clue. People cannot be helped at all. That's why you deserve to be ruled. Honestly, that's the real black pill. It's like, choose one because you guys are idiots. Like, these questions, statements, it's like, do you think Bannon's going to run? Can he win? Like, get a fucking clue. Get a clue. I think the earth is flat. Okay, bro. It's crazy. Yeah, all right. That's our last super chat. That's going to do it for me. Remember to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment. I'm on the air Monday through Friday, as always. Thanks for watching. Thank you to our top super chatters tonight. Special thanks to Midnight Squirrel, Leviathan, Toucan, Moon Groiper, Callie Groiper, New Groiper, Grippy Groipet, Trenbolone, Acetate Slam, Blue Dooley, Nasty Nate, Average John, Fence Man, On My Way to Fuck Your Hoe. I think is what that is, and not Andy. Special thanks to them. Thanks to all our super chatters, everybody that watches. We love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, have a great rest of your evening.
Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo. It's going to be only America first. America first. The American people will come first once again.